Did you feel as though you had it coming into the fight?
No, I'm just fighting to take care of my bills, basically.
So when I first heard Mike Tyson was coming back to the ring, I was hyped, right? I mean, it's Tyson, how could you not be excited? But then the Jake Paul fight happened and honestly something felt off. Now, with Tyson losing to Jake like that, new reports are coming out claiming the whole thing was scripted. Yeah, seriously. Apparently, Tyson got paid a huge amount for this stage fight and now he's feeling like his legacy might have taken a hit. So, was Tyson dealing with an injury going into the fight? Yeah, he said he was, but he wasn't using that as an excuse. If it was bad enough to stop him, he said he wouldn't have even shown up. Meanwhile, during the broadcast, people were wondering why Tyson was messing with his glove. Was it a mouthpiece issue or was he just biting on it? Turns out it's a habit he has when he fights. Kind of funny, right? Before the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, rumors were already buzzing, and not just the typical pre-fight hype you'd expect. No, this time, there was talk of a leaked script, a whole planned storyline, and it wasn't from a movie or a wrestling match, it was from the world of boxing. The rumor mill churned out a wild claim Jake Paul was supposed to knock Mike Tyson out in the 5th round, almost like something you'd see in a WWE script. Sounds dramatic, right? But at the time, it wasn't out of the realm of possibility considering how much hype surrounded this fight and the theatrics involved in both fighters' careers. People started saying that everything about this fight had been set up, from the moves to the timing. Even the knockout was supposedly pre-planned. It's not difficult to imagine how a fight involving someone like Jake Paul, a social media sensation turned boxer, could feel scripted. After all, his whole rise to fame in the boxing world has been more about building a brand and stirring controversy than actual competitive fighting. So when these rumors of a fight script started to spread, they didn't seem too far-fetched, especially considering the stakes were so high for both fighters. But when the night of the fight came, things didn't go according to plan, or at least not as fans had expected. Instead of the knockout in round 5, the fight dragged on for all 8 rounds. Tyson, the 58-year-old former champion, didn't just go down like many thought he would. In fact, he stuck around longer than anyone anticipated, and Jake didn't exactly go for the knockout punch. Instead, he played it safe, throwing light jabs and avoiding any serious risk. Now, fans couldn't help but notice the shift. After the supposed leak, there was speculation that they had to adjust the script to make the fight seem more genuine, or at least give the impression that Tyson wasn't simply playing the role of a punching bag. The longer the fight went on, the more people began questioning what was really happening. One fan put it bluntly, "We didn't need the script leak, watching the fight told us it was fake, ouch," right? That's a brutal comment, and it shows just how much the public was starting to catch on to the idea that something wasn't quite right. This added a layer of controversy to the whole spectacle. Fans had already been skeptical about the legitimacy of Jake Paul's boxing career. His previous fights had been against opponents who weren't exactly known for their boxing skills, and his transition from YouTube star to professional fighter raised a lot of eyebrows. So when people began to suspect the fight was scripted, it only fueled the fire of doubt. Was this really a competitive sporting event, or just another example of Jake Paul milking the publicity for all it was worth? And let's not forget about Tyson, the man who was once the most feared heavyweight on the planet, now fighting at 58, has had his fair share of ups and downs in life. To see him in the ring, not really throwing the power punches he's known for, only added to the feeling that the fight was staged. Tyson, despite his age, had shown flashes of his old self during training footage leading up to the fight. Yet, when it came time to perform, something didn't click. His movements were slow, his punches lacked intensity, and overall, he just didn't seem like the Mike Tyson we all knew and loved. As the rounds wore on, the narrative built. Fans were starting to wonder if Tyson had agreed to take a fall, or at least not go all out in an effort to give Jake Paul the spotlight. In a way, it made sense. Jake needed to win to maintain his credibility in the boxing world. Beating a living legend like Tyson, even if he's 58 years old, would solidify his position in the sport, and he could walk away with a massive paycheck. Tyson, on the other hand, had nothing to lose. The paycheck for a staged fight would be huge, and his name would stay relevant in the media. Everyone walked away with something, even if it wasn't what the fans were expecting. And here's the kicker, the fight didn't just end with a simple decision or knockout, it became a spectacle that had everyone talking for all the wrong reasons. The leaked script, the odd pacing of the fight, Tyson's lack of aggression, it all started to feel like a carefully orchestrated event. The longer it went on, the more the public began to suspect that the real fight wasn't in the ring, but in the narrative being spun around it. This wasn't just about Jake Paul or Mike Tyson anymore, it was about the spectacle of it all and how much money could be made by drawing attention to a real fight that was, well, anything but. In the end, the fight was a spectacle, one that blurred the lines between real sport and entertainment. And whether Tyson intentionally held back or not, the fight seemed to have served its purpose, generating buzz, making money, and leaving people questioning what was really happening behind the scenes. But for the fans who wanted something real, the disappointment was clear. And then there's this wild moment Tyson actually forgot it was staged and started going hard on Jake. Jake had to signal him to take it easy. From the first round, Tyson came out showing some of that classic bob and weave style, but then, out of nowhere, he just slowed down. His movements got sluggish and his punches didn't have that knockout power he was known for. Fans complained it was like watching an old man in the ring, not the champ we remembered. The craziest part? Tyson allegedly pocketed $20 million for just 17 minutes of action in the ring. One fan joked Mike was paid $20 million to stand there for 17 minutes. Nice for him. Jake Paul, on the other hand, made $40 million plus an additional cut from the live gate, which brought in $17.8 million. But here's the big question: did Tyson throw the fight for the money? Some fans believe it, citing his past financial struggles, while others argue he wouldn't ruin his legacy for a payday. Maybe Tyson wasn't just losing, though maybe he was told to hold back. Jake Paul had everything to gain from a win, and Tyson could have walked away with a huge check and more headlines. By round 6, Jake wasn't going for a knockout, keeping the fight going to make it seem more real. But did it even count as a legit win? The drama's far from over. What do you think?